So, take two. 113 notes. We are taking the equations that we have solved, and not even the hardest ones. These are as easy as the equations we did back in 1.1, and we are applying them to real life situations. So, step one, we are writing equation applications. Step one, we are going to start by identifying the variable. So we are going to pick a variable and what that variable stands for, and that's going to represent what we are solving for. So we're actually going to go down to our first example, and we're going to do the steps step by step in that first example. Jasper. See, office. Okay, so down to our first example. Annie buys 24 donuts for her class and a coffee for $3.50. If her total is $17.90, how much did each donut cost? So the question is, what are we trying to solve for? So we know we got 24 donuts. What do we want to know about the donuts? How much they cost. So I'm going to write down right here that D equals donut cost. You can use any letter. I would not use O or T, because O's look like zeros and T's look like plus signs. If you want to just use X, you can. I usually use a letter that corresponds to whatever we're trying to solve for. Okay, so that's step one, is identifying the variable. Step two is that we are going to write an equation, or sometimes we write an inequality. Okay, from there, words like per and each, when we write those equations or inequalities, those are rates. So if I say I make $10 per hour, that was going to get multiplied by the hours. So 10x would be $10 per hour. Then we also usually have a total that we are set equal to, or sometimes we're set more than or less than the total. So going back down to our example, for our first example, Annie buys 24 donuts for her class and a coffee for $3.50. If her total is $17.90, how much did each donut cost? So we know that she's buying 24 donuts and that D stands for the cost of donuts. So we're going to do 24 times D plus, she also spends $3.50 on coffee, so I'm going to put 3.50. Okay, and then that is equal to our total. How much does she spend total? What? $17.90. Perfect. Okay, from there, we are going to solve it just like a normal equation. So that is step three. I should write that down first. Is to solve. Please stop talking. From there, we are going to start by subtracting 350 from both sides. This is why I said you guys are going to want calculators today, because you're going to have to deal with decimals. So I'm going to subtract 350 from both sides. That gives me 24D equals 1790 minus 350 is, I'm going to want my calculator for the dividing, so I'm going to go ahead and get it. I do that part in my head, but. So 1790 minus 350 is 1440. So 14.40. And then from there, we'll divide both sides by 24. So 14.40, we'll divide by 24, and that gives us 0.6. So we need to put that in context of what that means. If I have a decimal that is 0.6 and that's money, that means it's 60 cents. Yep. So 0.60, we can put our dollar sign here. So what that means is that each donut costs 60 cents. Our final step in solving this, is after we've solved, I guess this isn't a final step in solving, but a final step in doing the problem. After we've solved, we are going to check our answer and label. So when we say check your answer, we want to make sure it makes sense. So if I have that each donut costs $6, that would be unreasonable. If I had that each donut costs 6 cents, that would be unreasonable. But 60 cents seems like a reasonable answer. And then we want to label it, and this one we label with a dollar sign. So we don't need any other labels. Okay. Any questions on that first one? Just draw an arrow and do the other one. The other place. Okay. We've got 2 more on here then. And then we are going to do some practice together, and then we are going to work on our assignment. So next one we've got, Tony is saving up to buy a camera. He already saved $45, and he makes $42.50 per week. How many weeks does Tony have to work to earn at least $300 for the camera? So the first question is the question, what are we trying to solve for? So we know that the camera costs $300. We know he needs $300. How many weeks it's going to take him to get that $300? So you guys with that $300, that's going to be our total amount he needs. So we're going to put W equals weeks. That's what we're solving for. Okay, so we know that he already has $45 plus he makes $42.50 per week. And we want to know, please stop talking. We want to know when he's going to have at least $300. So at least, we are going to write an inequality. If he needs at least $300, he needs exactly $300 or more. So that is going to be greater than or equal to 300. Okay. Any questions about writing the inequality? Okay, from there we can solve it then. So we're going to subtract 45 from both sides. You got 42.50 W greater than or equal to 300 minus 45 is 255. And I'm going to divide both sides by 42.50. $255 divided by that 42.50. I put my decimal in the wrong spot. Tells us that he needs to work for 6 weeks. So our answer is W is greater than or equal to 6 weeks. Okay, will he have enough money if he works 6 weeks? Exactly 6 weeks. Will he have enough money if he works 7 weeks? Yeah, he would have more than enough money. So that's why it's an inequality. That's why it's greater than or equal to, is because he needs to work at least that long to earn that money. questions. We've got one more on the back. Fountain drinks are $1.30 each, and chips are $1.75 at the gas station. Those prices are very outdated. I feel like chips are like $2.50 now. Nathan had $10 and then bought 2 bags of chips. How many fountain drinks can Nathan buy? So first of all, what is the question we're trying to answer? How many fountain drinks? So I'm going to say F equals number of drinks. Okay, Seth is estimating 7 or 8. Let's see where we're at with that. Okay, so this one is a little tricky because it tells us how much chips are, but he buys 2 bags of chips. So if he buys 2 bags of chips, how much money has he spent on chips? $3.50. Where did we get that $3.50 from? So that $1.75, which is the cost of 1 bag of chips, either plus $1.75 or times 2. So I'm going to write down right here just a little note to myself that says $3.50 spent on chips. Because he bought 2 bags for $1.75. Okay, now that we know that, so you have to pay attention because sometimes that thing that we have, so like there's one on your assignment where it's like she buys 4 cheeseburgers, so you have to multiply 4 times the cost of cheeseburger. Yeah, those are like those like goofy math problems that are like, when what context would this ever happen? Okay, so we are now going to take that $3.50 plus every drink is $1.30, so I'm going to put 1.30 times F. And then here's the tricky part. How much money can he spend? $10. Does he have to spend all $10? No. Can he spend all $10? Yes. He can spend exactly 10. We're pretending like these prices already include tax. So it's going to be less than or equal to 10. So this is another inequality. This one's going to be less than or equal to. Okay, from here, we are going to solve this. So we're going to subtract $3.50 from both sides. We'll have 1.30F is less than or equal to 10 minus $3.50 is $6.50. And then we divide both sides by 130. And I get that F is less than or equal to 650 divided by 130 is 6.50 divided by 1.30. I can't divide decimals in my head. Is 5. So F is less than or equal to 5. And then we're trying to figure out how many drinks he can buy. So label that with a word at the end. So he can buy up to 5 drinks, but he can also buy 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I think you should buy 2 drinks. If you have 2 bags of chips, you should get 2 drinks for whoever the second bag of chips is for. And then why would you need 5 drinks? Hey, questions right now. Also, how would you carry 5 fountain drinks back from Quick Shop is the real question. Yeah, no, that sounds like a terrible idea. No fountain soda is worth it. I love fountain soda, and that's not worth it. Hey, glue in your notes to your notebook. I'm going to stop recording, and then I will get us started on the next thing that we're working on.